Hello. Hello. Hey guys.
Hello.
I am Sabikia Gabrielle.
I am Sabria Angel.
And I'm Shirai.
And this is Hey.
Let's talk.
Okay, guys, we have a different topic tonight, but we
Very
are going to express our concerns, our thoughts, our views, and let y'all know how disturbed we are about this. So our topic is on sex trafficking today. Woo!
Yeah.
That's a good topic. That's a good topic.
Let me just read what Google says about sex trafficking. What sex trafficking is, basically. Sex trafficking is the action or practice of illegally transporting people from one country or area to another for the purpose of sexual exploitation. So it's pretty straightforward, you know. Everybody should know what sex trafficking is.
Yes. It's similar to our first topic that we discussed, drug trafficking, but this is now dealing with people. And
Very
specific,
disturbed.
I want to say specifically females. That leads me to our first question. Are males also victims of sex trafficking? Do you think so?
Yeah, I feel so, but I don't feel like they talk about it as much as they talk about females.
Right. Because I've actually never heard of men, so I can't answer that.
I would think so.
I
Especially
guess.
like little boys.
I guess they would think that men would like it.
I
Like
think so.
kids.
Right.
Yeah, I think, I've heard about kids
Yeah.
being,
Male and
yes,
female.
male and female,
Yeah.
yes.
So what are y'all views? How do y'all feel about that? Besides it being a very, very unfortunate circumstance.
Across the board, it's disheartening.
Right.
You like how I don't even know. I can't really sum up the words to say the entire thing, the entire topic. It's disheartening,
Process.
inhumane. Whatever other word comes behind that, I don't like it. I get really uncomfortable talking about things like this because it kind of like make you. Well, it's basically rape.
It is.
Yeah.
It is kidnapping as well.
Right.
You know, you think about the victim for sure, but also the victim's family.
Right.
And then, you know, I feel like in with a good and happy ending, there are some people that do get rescued, but then how do you think it is as a female? How do you think that would affect well, not just a female, because like I said, there can be males that go through the same thing, but I think it's mostly females because, you know, females are more vulnerable.
Right.
You know, but how do you think it would be for a female to adjust back to society after experiencing something like that?
It's so disturbing to even talk about or even think about. First, you have to consider if you would even make it out of that situation.
Yeah.
You could imagine persons that are in that situation for years. I'm actually, even in this moment, going as far as somebody being so adjusted to that whole situation that they find it like normal at a certain point. So you can imagine being in something like that for years and then coming out. How do you cope
That's what I'm saying.
with actual life? I can't even I can't imagine that.
How do you think it would be?
Traumatized.
Like, what struggles you think they would have? Like
Basically, social,
Yes.
trying to be social. That should be very challenging for
Yes.
them. Even trying to get in the wind of things or like trusting people.
Right. Getting in a
They
new
probably have a
relationship.
lot of-
Like
that.
or trying to now find a healthy relationship.
Love.
Right. That
Oh.
that could definitely.
Yeah.
I think that could definitely play with one's mental for sure.
Definitely.
And then I assume even trying to now find your self-worth and your value where
Right.
you've been, for years, or even if it's just a week, because
Yeah.
one incident for one day can change you. You understand?
Right,
Something
right.
severe could change your outlook on yourself and
Right.
stuff like that. So imagine doing that for years. I feel like that would definitely be a struggle, trying to now find your value and reassure yourself of your worth and stuff like that. I think I could definitely play on that.
I'm thinking going in the mind of the person that actually would want to go into that, because that's a business people run.
Right.
Because not only, well, I can't say not only, they're selling these people
Right.
for money.
Right.
So you're going into this business, I'm guessing, okay, I don't really care. It isn't me who is wanting the sex
It's
or
just
however.
selfish.
It's just me getting the money. I'm selling it to this person. You can imagine you're not being sold to a regular person. Like, it have to be a person that's a monster to want to buy a human being.
Boy, that kind of like reverses back to, I mean, not to say, but it kind of pulls us back to slavery time.
Yes.
Buying people and
So I was thinking about that. I was
Yeah.
just thinking about that. It's kind of the same concept. And like,
is.
to elaborate on what you were saying about not just the victims, because I mean, obviously, just automatically bringing up the topic, that the victims have to be going through something that's
Right.
just traumatizing. And then,
Right.
like you say, in a case where they do, escape and do get saved,
Right.
just trying to adjust to society after that. It can be similar to people coming out of jail and now trying to
Right.
come back in society. I think,
Right. Where
that-
things are always changing.
yeah. So I
Things
feel
are
like
always changing.
that's that would be hard. But to elaborate on what you were saying, just even thinking about people that would want to get involved in that business, what do you think would motivate somebody to? Okay, I feel like because we spoke about it a bit when we spoke on drug trafficking. So I feel like it's a bit different because now this is someone else's life. Like that, you have to have like that. I feel like your empathy. There's I don't know, like
whatsoever.
none whatsoever. So, what do you think would motivate somebody, or what are some things that you think would cause somebody getting into it?
I mean, okay. Firstly, obviously money would be the first thing.
Right. Greed.
Yeah, greed for money and knowing that the sex trafficking would be something that where you consume or you are paid a lot of money. That ain't no little figures you are being paid. But I mean, besides money, I don't see no other reason why they would want to do that to a human being. You gotta be a sick person.
You have to be.
You agree with the money?
I
as well?
agree with the
Yeah,
money.
I think that would
and
be the only
the
motive.
quick money, because like you said, it is almost kind of like drug trafficking because that's quick money.
Right.
But the only difference is it's a human being.
Yeah, right.
But even thinking about it being a child,
Good.
See, now
Nobody
that's
stop
a-
hiding enough.
and yes, because
Yeah.
I think it would be different for a child than a human than an adult, because the child would grow into that situation
right.
and never really knowing exactly
that would be
who
what they
you
know.
are
Right.
as a person. I mean, a teenager, yes, too, could be the same way because you don't really know who you are at a certain point in your life.
Right.
Getting to know yourself or getting to know your worth. Oh my
Right.
God,
Yeah,
that would be so
definitely be
hard on a child, and
Right.
even coming from a mother. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
My perspective on that is like,
And my heart
Crazy.
clenched.
woo!
My heart clenched because being a mother, like she says, I would have nightmares
Exactly. Yeah.
to think that someone would kidnap my child or touch or abuse my child in any type of way.
Right.
My children in any type of way. So it's like I say, it's a very, very touchy topic.
And then even for someone to get like I was saying, for someone to get involved in something like that. I mean, obviously, you have pedophiles who, that's their fetish. The world would call it their fetish. I'm gonna call it that's their demon.
Yeah.
That they're battling with.
Yeah.
And
they're just
feeding that demon. Feeding that. And
demon.
so besides money, it can also be like a good way to, a quick and an easier way to, feed that urge, right?
Yeah.
And then I was looking into it to say, like, even like with drug trafficking and with sex trafficking, if one person get caught, I think it's extremely different with sex trafficking, because if somebody now gets caught, does that mean, like, because I feel like it's kind of like a safe, I'm just explaining to say what I would think would be a motive for somebody to get involved. Like, I feel like they may not get like in hands-on like trouble with the law. So like, besides money and, like you say, you have, that person having a thorn in their flesh and dealing with that battle, it could also be just them liking that thrill or that adrenaline that may comes with being involved and just not trying to get caught, because I assume you can't just buy this person and walk down the street casually with them and stuff like that. So that may be something else, or they may get fixated on, like, oh, I have this secret life going on, or whatever it needs to be. And we could also look at the fact that they may just like to be in control,
right?
Because now they buy this person they have all rights illegally,
right?
They have all rights to do whatever they want to do with this person, this thing to them, because I feel like that is so inhumane. This, like, they're treating that person as an object. Do you think, speaking about that, let us just being open-minded, do you think that all victims of sex trafficking, let's say if they were to find a buyer, do you think it's ever in a case where that buyer would not mistreat them?
I thought about that. I thought about if it might be a situation where that buyer went in with the intention of just seeking that thrill and seeking the thrill first, and then end up liking or loving that person. But I'm like, how would the person feel about that?
You have I can't remember what it calls, but there are cases where victims fall in love with their abuser,
Wow.
Do you think that's
I think that has something to do with
like trauma bond, right?
And just use that to cope with the situation.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I even thought it was something you said that made me think about those buyers that maybe married and just have that as like a second, like, it was something you said, I can't remember, but I'm like, having that secret life. That's the thrill, that's another thrill,
right?
Of something,
right?
But
like you said, and just overall, because it isn't just a secret to your wife,
right?
It's a secret to
everything.
Or then you never know, the wife may know.
And just keep it that. In most cases, the wives do
know, right? And just maybe afraid to address whatever, or to help, or whatever the case may be.
Or she down with it.
Down.
She's one of them too.
She down with it. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Y'all know what I'm trying to say.
That's true. So let's. Oh, sorry.
Okay, so let me ask y'all a question. what do y'all think would be things you could look out for, like the signs of people targeting you or targeting someone? And it don't even only have to be for sex trafficking. Just thinking that it would be sex trafficking. It could be for other reasons as well.
Signs. Okay, so I have seen a particular video going around on social media that sex traffickers, I can't remember what the object is called, but they tie it around your door, and it's something that you can't just pull off. You have to like use like a scissors or something to take it off or whatever. But that they do that to let whoever else is in the circle, you know, that you are somebody there
that they're looking at.
Right.
I've heard of people like legit marking your car from the rear because you wouldn't really pay attention to the rear end of your car, so they like would mark your license plate or the bottom bumper of your car with a color or something like to indicate, and they would follow
other people.
I didn't know that.
Or even track you down for like a couple of days and catch you off guard too. And I've also saw another video with like if you were to see money by your car on the floor, like if you were to be coming out of a grocery store or wherever, and you was to see money on your floor, don't pick it up, because that can be a way to distract you so that they can attack you.
You know that now they are so advanced that even as little as a stranger coming to your car or meeting you at the grocery store, billing conversation or whatever, and they could just hand you something with some type of essence or something on it that will knock you out.
Right.
Cold.
Right, yeah.
Things like, so you gotta really be aware of.
Oh my God.
How you gotta think.
You have to be observant.
Yeah, you gotta think like critical. You gotta think beyond the surface, and then you can't just say, okay, there's a nice gentleman or something like that.
Discernment.
Just want you to give you a card or whatever. Yeah. Why do you want to give me a card or all the people around here?
Discernment.
Yeah, you can't just accept it from anyone.
Yeah.
And this is going to sound bad, but I don't mean nothing by it. I just want to share my opinion. This is a safe place. What was crazy to me is I always thought that sex trafficking was something that was more potent in the US. I didn't realize that the Caribbean also experienced it and actually were like top of the list for dealing with that.
Yes.
So that was like a mind opener for me.
Yes.
And it's just crazy because it's like, you're thinking this is the island, things should be a bit more carefree and stuff, and it's just it isn't no more. Things are different. Things have evolved, and the world has became corrupt. So overall, ladies, I would just say be safe, be observant, look out for things, be aware, and like most importantly, just use your discernment. If something feels off, most likely it's off. Okay, most likely it's off. When you're going in your car and coming out of your car, stay out of your phone. Stay out of your phone. When you get in your car, lock the doors right away. It isn't time to text and no, all that other stuff. Screw your windows up, get out and move.
And most definitely, when you pull up at your home, be very it goes back to saying visual. Be very vigilant of your area. If cars following you, and if a car that never been there is there too long or being suspicious, most definitely make sure you are very, 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 very vigilant when it comes to those things, because
for sure with that, I would be like, I'm pretty sure everybody can relate to that. Just being a child, or even as an adult, you just driving, and for some reason, just feel like this car behind you making every turn you making, and you like, you like in the car, you just like, oh, so you follow me? Okay, you want to play?
Not only that, have you guys, because I know I've been behind a car doing the same thing, knowing that I'm not following this car, but this car
Right.
going everywhere I'm going.
So you're like, I
so
hope
it's the
this
same
person
thing.
don't think I'm following them, right?
Right.
Sometimes when I realize I'm going everywhere this person is going, I just take turn off and make a different turn or whatever. But then it's
I feel like I'm so playful. I'd probably just be like, you know what, I can keep going. If times within dangerous,
Yeah.
I just keep going and pull up right to that person's house, like, or like pull up and then drive past. I don't know. I have a problem. My sense of humor just don't add up. Sometimes it really doesn't. I've never done it though.
Video, we have a very dark sense of man. That's just one of them. That's just one of them that you showed.
Yeah. So yeah.
But you know, there's another thing that even I could say most complacent or most
Watered down.
Yeah, most watered down for looking for. Do y'all know that when it comes to roadblocks and things being in the road, and having that urge to say, you know what, let me just take this out of the road for everybody else behind me.
I don't know buddy that's going to say take anything out of the road. I will try to swerve past that, because that is not even just for sex trafficking purposes.
That's
sometimes robbery. Sometimes people might have a hit out on you, you know,
or just rape.
I never really talk about it, but it happened to me once in terms of me turning off through a corner to try go around traffic and having this big box in the middle of the road, like full of items, look like, and my initial response was to stop, right? But then like my mind went back on thinking, what if someone targeting?
Right.
Or whatever.
And even like when you heard them voices like that, sorry.
Yeah, so I legit like reverse back. I reversed all the way to the corner. That's the best, y'all. That's the best I ever drove.
Yeah.
I reversed all the way with the corner and went to the traffic. So even too, I wanna say when y'all have that little voice in your mind, tell y'all not to go through a corner or not to go this way or not to go that way. Listen to it.
You may feel like, oh, it's not that big, but you just never know. Like, why would the doubt come out of if it's something so small, why would the doubt come? You know what I mean? And I always remind myself about that. When I be like, no, it's probably just a silly voice. I'd be like, why would it come though? What would be the point? You know what I mean?
He's always speaking.
Right.
He's always speaking. It's just up to us to listen.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, right.
It's just up to us to listen. And I wanted to touch on when we were talking about being safe. Please, with the kids, monitor them and they're going. I know we can't do a 24-hour every second of the day eye on them, but we can also teach them how to be safe themselves, not talking to strangers, not going by cars when the car pulls up and calls them for anything.
And even something that I learned that I was being corrected for, even like from mommy and stuff, which was like with my niece and nephew, I'd be like, if you do this, I'd get you that. Like even bribing them, even at a young age, you kind of subconsciously teaching them, you kind of, teaching them or making them vulnerable for when other people do it, to say, oh, well, if you do this, I could get you this and stuff like that. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
I understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying.
I never really thought of that,
Yeah.
I didn't think about it like that either.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
Yeah, because in a way you kind of putting this like, oh, it's normal for people to say that. So that's not a big deal or whatever the case may be. And that could very much so be like a trap. And like she said, you want to keep an eye on the kids because they can also be victim of sex trafficking. I really don't think there is much of a age bracket for where it starts and stop, honestly. And I mean, that's sad because you can imagine like toddlers and stuff. I don't know. I can't, like I said, we always tell y'all, it's just our opinion. We aren't here to, I would say, educate you on the topic, but we're just here to talk about it and bring it to light and to speak on it and just to open your mind, because as we share our opinions, we hope that it inspires you to share yours and to really think about these things. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel like I don't know. Do you think it's an age bracket?
Like we're saying, we're being educated as well.
Right.
We're being educated as well.
I don't think there's no.
But I don't think either.
I don't think there's no age bracket.
And that is disturbing to me.
Yeah. Oh.
That is disturbing to me.
No
And it
bracket or gender.
no
age bracket or.
This may go off topic just a little bit, but still in that range of, I guess it maybe come under kidnapping, maybe.
Sex trafficking, yeah, it does involve all of that.
With the child, and we spoke about not it being not an age bracket. You have persons selling kids because persons want a child,
and they never really know it. Yeah.
So that
can be a part of it, because you never know that other person's intention.
Right.
Even I saw a documentary on Netflix. I can't remember really if it was, no, it wasn't the guy's actual daughter, but basically he had kidnapped a girl that he raised to be his daughter, but he still was having sex and using it for all these other things. So, but he raised her to be his daughter. He took care of her and all that stuff, but he still was having sex with her. So, like you say, and that's even like how you brought that up. That was one of the things that I kind of had to think about, like when I thought about adoption and stuff. When I thought about adoption, I was like, I don't know if I really could agree with that, because yes, you're thinking you're placing this child in a financially stable home, but you just,
I honestly believe
demons don't have they don't have a look.
They don't have a look. No.
They don't have a look.
Yeah.
It would, if you could look into people and see the things they battle with, and like what sick ideas come to their mind, and these are people you looking at like, oh, they have it all together, and you could just be like, okay, I feel comfortable, let me sign these papers and let me just I can agree.
They do the background check and all that.
Right, but background check can't tell you everything, especially if I've been getting catch doing nothing.
Right.
That's why I kind of was going to say, I've always been a strong believer that no one can take care of you and love you like your biological mother.
All right.
I'm not saying you got some people that are
really
treated by their parents, right? But I feel like when it comes to like being truly loved from a loving parent,
and it's so some people God grace to adopt people, or even if it doesn't even have on paper, if it isn't on paper, you have some people, and I have been under a few that just naturally would take you under their wing and treat you like their own, God bless those. I always say shout out to parents who can take care of a child that isn't theirs as their own.
Yeah.
Because even with me, like it's going to the tab of topic, but even with me, I've had to build a connection with my child. Some people would say like, oh, they felt that connection from in the womb, but it wasn't the same with me. When I saw him and then dealing with him, then I got together. So imagine somebody who has no connection just taking that child on like that. Hats off to you guys.
They have that, like you said, that grace.
Right.
And to even speak about persons who I applaud them. I applaud that strength.
Right. That's
to even want to go and take a stranger's child.
Right.
That's I think that's God's love.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
I think that's God's love to want to do that. And even with adoption, I think nowadays, if I can recall, they actually do like a real background check, not just going in and speaking with the parent.
They do follow-ups as well.
Yeah, they do follow-ups over the course of, I guess, the pregnancies, or kind of
Right.
dig into the parents' lifestyle,
Right.
to get to know them, to make sure that they would be a good fit and they're good people. But
But
yeah.
also in unfortunate situations, you still have to realize
still
that
have to think
it is a
about-
possibility
Yeah.
for that to happen.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is also a unintentional trafficking, that, you know, or whatever case may
Okay,
be.
well, to bring it back to the main topic, I have a question. How do y'all feel, well, going back to one of the first questions we asked, like, how do you feel people would cope, the victims would cope, trying to get back to their new life? Do you feel as though, like, that's kind of why, or that's kind of the reason why a lot of females revert to prostitution?
That's a good question.
I feel like some of it can be a product of sexual trafficking, because Sheree was saying, imagine being at an age where your mind isn't fully developed. You have basically been brainwashed to thinking, you know, this is
what it
this
is.
is what it is, and
This
this
is life. Yeah.
all I know. And even outside of sex trafficking, sometimes as a young female, if you grow up where your aunties and your sisters and your mothers are all doing the same thing, you kind of follow right into that. So I definitely feel like that could definitely be a product of it. And then it's also fast money, wanting fast money, and just like it's like legit kind of the same reasons of drug trafficking, just not feeling like I may not have anything else to offer. You know, this is all I have, a good body and this and that, right?
But I'm thinking if the persons that, if the buyer even just uses that person to do prostitution for them.
I think.
So I'm
that could
like,
be a case too.
you buy to make money, and I'm like,
Right.
I wonder if that. I don't
Because
know.
then even I always have to make reference to the drug trafficking video, because like I say, it's kind of the same thing.
We're kind of connected.
Yeah.
Right, even like with the drug dealers, they have to buy their product from dealers too, right?
To sell it, correct.
Right, so I feel like it's
correct.
definitely around
Maybe
the same thing. And to anybody that's experiencing or has experienced sex trafficking, or even any form of rape, anything like that,
Anything that devalues you as a human being, or even making you feel less than.
yeah, our heart goes
Our heart
out
goes
to
out
you.
to you.
And for those that were able to get out, I want to leave a word of encouragement for you, to let you know that doesn't have to be your way of life. If you haven't been able to, I don't want to use the word get over,
Cope.
but yeah, you haven't been able to find a way to cope with that whole situation and heal from that.
Coming into your normal reality.
Yeah, I want you to know that God doesn't see you as anything less. If anything, I'm a strong believer that He gives His toughest battles to His toughest soldiers. And so I believe you went through it because He already knew that you would be able to overcome. Even though you may not feel like it, you are an overcomer. You are worth even more. Because I feel like the more you go through, the more you add on to you. You know what I mean?
It's not
Right.
a testimony unless you have a
Test, exactly.
And
So-
it's to empower. You went through it, but it could bring somebody else out
Right.
if you realize
Right.
what God is trying to do.
Yes.
In it. Yes, it was a hopeless situation,
Yeah.
but hope can come out of it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and God can do that.
Yeah, that's true. Even, and not even just those experiencing sex trafficking, but like prostitution, that is
Rape.
dealt with rape, anything,
Anything.
bullying, anything,
Yes.
abuse, anything that made you feel less than. You are an overcomer, and you are worth so much more. So this is the end of our video. We enjoyed talking to you guys about sex trafficking and learning a few things
Yes.
ourselves.
Yes.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Click the post notification bell so that you can be notified every time we upload, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we will see you then. Once again, my name is Sabria Angel.
I'm Samiki Gabrielle.
And I'm Sharan Sheree.
And this is Hey, Let's Talk. Bye.